Narendra Modi took office as the Prime Minister of India in 2014. Now in his third term, he stands on the brink of becoming the second longest serving Prime Minister after Jawaharlal Nehru if he decides not to contest for a fourth term. Let us evaluate whether he has truly done justice to his role. In his 10-year tenure, especially during his second term starting in 2019, Modi's dominance as a leader was unmatched. There was absolutely no challenge to him, either from the opposition or from within his own party. The majority of Indians were in awe of his leadership, voting him into power as a strong and decisive figure who they believed would elevate the country to new heights. India had not seen such a commanding Prime Minister in the last 40 years. The only comparable figure was Indira Gandhi, who was referred to as the Iron Lady of India. Like Modi, she enjoyed unwavering support from the masses and had a firm grip over the country. With his carefully crafted image of strength and incorruptibility, people placed immense hope in Modi. They believed he would tackle the country's major issues, such as corruption, the agrarian crisis, judicial inefficiency, the lack of quality education, poor healthcare facilities, and economic inequality. With an absolute majority in both houses of parliament and the backing of a vast majority of the population, Modi was in a position to bring about sweeping changes that could have positively impacted millions. Unfortunately, despite having such unprecedented power, Modi has not done justice to the common man. No other leader in the foreseeable future is likely to have this level of authority, and it is disheartening to see this opportunity squandered without major reforms in key areas. When we compare his tenure with Indira Gandhi's, it is evident that while she implemented impactful reforms like land redistribution that benefited lakhs of landless people, Modi's major decisions, though bold, have largely been limited in scope. Initiatives like the abolition of Article 370 and the criminalization of triple talaq were commendable but did not address the core issues affecting the majority of Indians. Some policies, like demonetization, were seen as poorly planned and ineffective. Let us now discuss where Modi has failed to meet the expectations of the common man. 1. Corruption. Modi came to power in 2014 on the back of the anti-corruption wave led by Anna Hazare's movement for the Lokpal Bill. People across the country supported Hazare's fight against corruption, and Modi promised to eradicate it from day-to-day life. However, corruption has increased compared to 2014. While there haven't been any large-scale scams, bribery in everyday life has only worsened. Infrastructure projects are rife with corruption, and politicians and officials continue to loot public money. People are joining political parties to just make money. The Lokpal, which was supposed to be a strong anti-corruption body, has been rendered ineffective, with no arrest in the last 11 years. Corruption has become a termite eating away at the country's foundation, and Modi has done nothing to address it. 2. Education system. India's primary education system is entirely dominated by private institutions. Government schools, though present, are barely functional. Poor families are forced to take loans to send their children to private schools, while the very poor have no choice but to rely on poorly maintained government schools. This unequal system is creating a hierarchical society. Modi had a golden opportunity to make primary education free and uniform for all, at least up to the 10th standard. However, most private schools are run by powerful politicians and wealthy individuals, and Modi failed to take them on. No reforms were made in this crucial sector. 3. Judiciary. The judicial system in India is collapsing under its own weight. Cases drag on for decades, and the backlog has reached over 5 crore cases. It is common for cases to span generations, with no resolution in sight. The common man has lost faith in the judiciary, which is slow and inaccessible. Despite these glaring issues, the Modi government has done nothing to address the inefficiencies of the judicial system. No reforms have been introduced to reduce the backlog or make the judiciary more accessible to ordinary citizens. 4. Healthcare. India's healthcare system has become a massive mafia-like industry. Once considered noble, the medical profession now leaves families bankrupt with sky-high bills. While schemes like Ayushman Bharat have been introduced, the poor service quality of government hospitals discourages people from using them. On the other hand, private hospitals exploit patients for profit. Modi had the power to reform the healthcare sector, but no transformative steps were taken. 5. Agrarian crisis. Agriculture, the backbone of India's economy, supports 60% of the population. Yet, it remains in a state of crisis. Farmers often take their own lives due to mounting debts, even as food prices soar. Why are farmers unable to repay loans when food prices are so high? The answer lies in systemic issues. Farmers receive only a fraction of the market price, lack cold storage facilities, struggle to access low-interest loans, and face inadequate irrigation. Despite the critical importance of agriculture, the Modi government failed to introduce meaningful reforms to uplift the sector. 6. Election reforms. India's electoral system is riddled with corruption. Unlike countries like the United States, where presidents are limited to 2 terms, India allows politicians to hold office indefinitely. Some MPs and MLAs have served for over 12 terms, even at the age of 90 or more. Elections have become a hub of corruption, with the cost of campaigns rising exponentially. Despite his massive majority, Modi has not introduced any reforms to limit terms or curb electoral malpractices. Conclusion: Narendra Modi's tenure as Prime Minister has been a mix of strong leadership and missed opportunities. While he has made bold decisions like the abolition of Article 370 and the criminalization of triple talaq, he has failed to address the core issues plaguing the common man. Corruption, education, healthcare, judicial inefficiency, and the agrarian crisis remain unresolved despite the immense power and public support Modi enjoyed. This level of power is unlikely to be seen by any future leader. Yet, Modi has not utilized it to serve the people. With 4 more years remaining in his 3rd term, there is still hope that he will prioritize the needs of the common man and implement reforms that will leave a lasting impact. The nation awaits meaningful change.